Let's get start demo first of Elasticsearch CRUD operation. Okay, so there are some operation like get, post, put, delete. So we'll implement actually .NET Core application, .NET Core Web API, and we integrate our Elasticsearch. Okay, so let's get start with the get operation. So first I'll just try execute. So as of now there is a no, it is a 200, but there is a no response because this index, whatever index I choose in Elasticsearch, that index right now does not have any data. Okay, so what need to do, I'll just post some data. So let me try execute your post request. Okay, remove that ID because this ID will be generated automatically, and just add some fake data, like for example C# blog, and description is C# description, and author with KKP. Okay, let me execute. Okay, see, getting 200 with document create successfully, which is response body. We have sent it back to here. Okay, now back to your get all details, get all request. Okay, execute. Now this time I'm getting the response body. Okay, so yeah, whatever data I just created, see, I just created with this unique ID. Okay, now what need to do, I need to update something. Okay, so let me update. Let try out, pass it to data, ID, whatever ID I want to update. And if I want to C# to, for example, Elasticsearch, for example, it's a shorts Elasticsearch, and then description is and Kibana. Okay, and then author is Karthik. Okay, let me show you in our request body. Okay, this is our request body for update. With this is important actually, this is ID, which is will update on this in a index. Okay, so let me execute. See the response. Response is 200 with this document update successfully. And let's check this data. Let's check the data with this get, get by ID, based on this whatever ID. Okay, so let me add, pass it to ID and check this whatever data we updated, that is updated or not. See, this is updated with 200 response. Okay, previously it was C#, but yeah, now I just changed to Elasticsearch and whatever the informations. Okay, and finally I can show you in this our here, like this is a Kibana dashboard. Okay, so whatever Elasticsearch is running, see, this is running our Elasticsearch locally. So whatever we have our search Elasticsearch index, that we can show in the Kibana. So let me show you with this refresh. Once you refresh, see whatever data I have in this particular index, you are able to see. So this index I am just using, and let me show you in a JSON format as well. See, this is the data. Okay, so let me delete as well this one so that we can complete our all the operations. Okay, so let me delete this record and use the delete endpoint and try out, pass the ID, execute, and delete successfully. So let me check first here as well, data exist or not, execute. Now see, 200 with no response. Similar I can see in our dashboard. Okay, when our dashboard just refresh, so this index does not have any data. Okay, so that's all for this demo. Okay, so let's move to implementation. So before move to implementation, if you not aware how we can that installation and set up your Elasticsearch and Kibana, so I'm especially recommend to you, go to my channel. Okay, .NET real world example. Okay, so go to my channel, and you can able to see over here, this is my channel, .NET real world example, and you are able to see the setup of Kibana and Elasticsearch. Okay, so here you will able to see, go to the video section. Okay, so here you able to see that, see, the installation Kibana and Elasticsearch very easily. So you can use this one, proceed this one, so that you can install your Kibana and Elasticsearch in your locally. Okay, so that you can implement your application with this local. Okay, so let's open then your Visual Studio. So let's create a new project. Use ASP.NET Core Web API. Choose next. Name it call yes CRUD operation. Yes, CRUD operation. That's fine. And the application name is API and solution name only just this. Okay. And choose next. Okay. Use that use controller. If you don't want to use that controller API, so you can leave it over there. Okay. And just create a next. I using same .NET 7. Next. Now your application is ready. Okay. So first thing what you need to do, you need to add some packages. Okay, so what packages are required? First you required two packages. So go to your manage packages and go to browse and just search for elasticsearch.net. Okay, this one, let me zoom in. So this is the package which you need to install. So click here, install. Okay, once done, then choose another one, nest. Okay, so this is that one. Also you require this package as well. So click here, install. Okay, done. Then go to your application solution. Okay, in the project. Okay, so what need to do next? First you have to just create, some service. Okay, so I just create a one service where actually I use that generic service, which is actually insert, update, delete. We can do our operations, right? So let me create a folder. Use the name as a services. Create a service. Use interface. Choose that interface name is Elasticsearch. Okay, we'll create a generic services of Elasticsearch. So you need to pass it to the T. Okay, and then what you need to do, you need to just create some method. Okay, so instead of wasting time, I just copy paste those method. I'll show you. Okay, see, remove this one. Okay, so this is for create, which is accept whatever document, generic document, entity type, whatever entity or whatever document you have, you can just pass it over here. Based on this, it will returning that string. And also get document by get document async, also passing the id and return the result. Also get all the documents, it will returning enumerable of list. And this is update documents, it will update your documents. And delete documents, it will delete your documents. It is very straightforward and simple. Okay, let me zoom in for you. So these are four operations which will implement our services. Okay, so let me create the implement service. Name it is as like Elasticsearch service. Add. Okay, what need to do, you have to just make it your generic service as well. So make it a generic. And then what need to do, you just inherit your interface Elasticsearch. Okay, and then here also just pass it to generic type. And then use where, so that whatever entity. Okay, and using only class. Okay, so this is done. And then what you need to do, you just need to implement whatever method, whatever signature in this interface, right? So let me implement over using this features, Visual Studio features. Okay, implement interface. So once you do, it will automatically give the implementations. Okay, now we have to do our, it is a default implementation, but yeah, you have to complete or you have to do your own implementation. Okay, so first implementation I need to do over here. So before that, what I need to do, I need to inject actually our service. Okay, so what is our service? I need to inject our Elastic's client. Okay, so first let me create a constructor. Okay, add your Elasticsearch client. Okay, so Elastic client, let me bring the namespace. Okay, it is using that using .nest. Okay, and also just create a field. Okay, this is done. Now inside this Elasticsearch Elastic client, we are able to get all the methods like that, all the operations. For example, I'll show you one Elasticsearch, and then if I want to use index dot documents async, so this one for create one. Okay, or if you want to get something, so get documents, so see get asyncs, that will get on. Okay, so similar I'll use for that here for create, so I'll use that index dot document async. Okay, so this one for async asynchronous method, and is pass it to our document. So whatever document I'll just pass, I'll need to pass it over here. Okay, and then is this method just returning something? Okay, let's see, let's just store something over here and response, and then what need to do, I need to return. Okay, whatever response it is of valid. Okay, because this whatever will this method actually once created, so it will return the response, and that is response have a property is valid. Okay, so it is not visible the because see this is a synchronized method. Okay, so what we need to do, we have to use that asynchronous method, so you have to use that await. Okay, and then use that async, and then you will get all the method like that is valid. Okay, if it is valid, so what you need to do, you just pass it to your message. Okay, what you want to return, so I want to return this, else it is fail, right? So that's all. Similar I need to do for delete. Okay, I need to get everything, right? So let me implement for delete one. So similar I use the delete, I need to call the delete Elasticsearch delete method, delete async. Okay, once it's delete, what need to do, let me change it to message type async. Okay, so what response, this response I'll check and then return to here. Okay, it is it is similar like that, right? So this is providing by that nest client. Okay, so similar we have to implement for that get all documents. Okay, so it is very simple again. Okay, let me show the codes. Okay, so change it to that Elasticsearch client. Okay, and here see I use that search, but yeah, I can use the search async as well. Use that as sync await. Okay, and similar I can return that search response, whatever search response dot documents, because this object returning are documents, whatever data I have, so that is collection as a document. Okay, it's simple. And what I need to implement next, I need to implement get document by async. Okay, it is very simple. Let me change it to our injectable property. So this is one, right one. So change it over here for async. Okay, and now what need to do, it is very simple, and just store over here similar I need to the response, the source. Okay, so let me return response dot source, this one. Okay, this is also done. Okay, now the last one is update. Okay, so I need to update. So this one little bit different, but yeah, it is also very easy. Okay, so what need to do first? Again, let me show you. Instead of wasting time writing a code, I'll just copy paste. Okay, and make it to async method. Okay, and change it to our client, Elasticsearch client. Okay, and then call it to update async method and use that new document. Okay, whatever document we have, just pass it to as a new document and use the lambda function and use the document. Okay, the doc method, and inside the doc method you can pass your document. Okay, like look like that. Also you can use, see, there's also use the mechanism like retry on conflict. Suppose it's have some confliction, so it will try to 3 times and then it will exit. Okay, and similar, what I need to do, I need to just make sure if it is a valid, means that whatever response it is a true, so just return to document update, or neither it's failed. Okay, so that's all for insert, update, delete. Okay, so all the method that's completed. Let me zoom in for you one more time. So create it done, delete done, get all done, get document, get documents means only single with the ID. Okay, and the last one is update document. Okay, so that's all implementation done. So now what need to do, I need to just create our controller. Okay, so whatever it is a existing controller, so I'll just leave it that controller. Okay, I'll just remove and just create a new controller so that I can implement our all the endpoint. Okay, so let me create a controller. Okay, API controller, empty controller. Okay, and just make it to yes. Okay, add. So this is a new controller, it adds nothing. Okay, so let me call one by one. Okay, so first I'll just call it to our get endpoint. Okay, so before that, what I need to do, I need to inject whatever I service just created, right? So this service I just created, so this service handling all the things, or this is the abstraction. Okay, so that I need to inject over here controller, and then I'll use it. Okay, so create a constructor of that controller. Okay, so I'll just create it, that one, and copy to your method, their interface, and pass it to inject over here and pass it to here, and then it's shortcut to, you can just create your field, create a field and assign to your constructor. Okay, so this is a very simple. And then what you need to do, you have to just pass your document. Okay, so because it is a generic type, so what kind of document you want to perform your operation, so you can just pass it to over here. Okay, because it is a generic type, so I need to just create a model of the document. So what you can to do, you can just create another folder and call it to models. Okay, inside here I need to create that model. Okay, create a new class and call it to my document. Okay, for example, but yeah, you can use whatever you want. Okay, call it to here, and then here I need to implement something, means I need to add some property over here, so that whatever property I will use, so those data I can insert, update, delete. Okay, so I can create an object. Okay, so it's very simple. Let me copy paste to you instead of wasting time. Okay, so it is very simple. I just create ID, name, description and author. Okay, and I use that default value, okay, so that whatever if I miss, if I not pass any data of that id, so based on this it will generate a new random number and it will add over here. But yeah, you can pass it, you can just create your own logic, whatever you want you can just pass it, because that index need to create a, that unique id, okay, so it will create automatically, but yeah, you can just create your own as well, okay. So that is done. Go back, use that my document, okay, and bring the namespace, okay. So my document is here, and then similar, you have to just inject it, passing your documents as well, okay. So now injecting successfully, okay. Now I can create our endpoint. So it's very simple. I just create first endpoint of get by id, okay, get all, okay. So this is a get documents, I use that controller. If it is not familiar of this .NET Core API, so I'm especially recommend to again go to my my channel, and you can visit my one of the session where I just explain everything of .NET Core API and controller and routing, everything's like I just explain, okay. So it is very simple, just I call whatever injecting service, I just call it and get this method and return back to here, okay. So this is done for get. Now I need to done for post. So this is for post again. It is very simple. Pass it to the document in a body, okay, and just call it to our create document, which will create our the data in Elasticsearch, okay, and the return back. Similar, I'll use for that get by id. So this is simple again, and pass it to route and using that read, okay, and then pass it the id and call that service, and that service make sure it is there, then it is there, then okay, if it is not, then it is not found, okay. Similar, I'll use that put, okay. So it is for update document, so pass it the update document inside the request body, pass it to our our service, and then service return to result, okay. And finally for delete, okay. So this is for delete, okay. So again pass it the route data as a name, and then pass it the id, and that connect with the over here, and then call it to delete service, and the return back to user, okay. So the controller also done, okay. So service done, controller done. Now I need to configure, okay. So where I need to configure, because see, I just creating service, I injecting over here, so uh, it's actually the dependency, okay. So this service are dependent on this controller, right? So we have to resolve some dependency. So go to the program.cs file. Here I need to configure our Elasticsearch dependency as well as this services dependencies, okay. So this is very important actually. If you are not about this dependency or things, so especially comment one more time, go to my dependency uh, session. You are able to get full idea like what is the dependency, how we can resolve the dependency, what are the dependencies ways actually we can do with this practical example, okay. So go back, okay. And now what you need to do first, you just get your Elasticsearch URL, okay. So there's a many way actually you can get, like you can store your app setting and you can get, but yeah, for the demos perspective I just use directly over here, okay. Instead of this actually I will use that uh, directly, okay. So what I need to do first, I need to just create a new connection setting actually, settings, okay. So this is one new connection settings, and here see the new connection setting actually it is coming from our okay, is the using the nest client, okay. And here the first parameter, like say the first parameter, it is asking for there's a 9 overload method, okay. So you can just pass URI, and you can just many way actually you can register. So what I will do, I'll just pass my URI, okay. So let me create a new URI. So create a new URI, Okay, and inside I can just pass our URI string. Okay, so what is my URI string? My URI string is this one. Okay, this is my Elasticsearch URI. Okay, so go back your here and just pass it to your Elasticsearch URL. Okay, this is done. And then what you need to do, just call it to default index, and here you can pass your index. Okay, this is one way. Just for demonstration I'll show you, but you can just use that index call to store over here. You can get it over here, and also you can use this is your service label as well. Okay, so in this service label you can just modify your that all the implementation here. You can just pass your index as well, so that if you record you can just let me know in the description. I'll just show the another session. Okay, but yeah, not this session. This session I'll just keep it to simple so that you can understand. Okay, so what I need to create a new index, so a new index like that Elasticsearch like demo. Okay, so es demo, I put it over here, and then that's it. Okay, and keep it to store a variable where, and the settings. Okay, I keep it to settings, and then what I need to do, I just create a client as well. Okay, so let me create a client. So let me create a client of Elasticsearch client. So new Elastic client. Okay, and then that Elastic's client, what expecting, it is expecting actually that connections. Okay, the settings actually. So you can just use this overload method. uh, Let me do that. Okay, so this one, so you can just pass it to your settings. Okay, connection string settings. So let me use these settings. Okay, not here. You can just pass it to inside the Elasticsearch client. Okay, so this is done, and then finally what need to do, you need to just use that at singleton. Okay, so that your service can lifetime only just one lifetime create a one instance only. Okay, so use that builder dot services dot add singleton, and then pass it to your client. Okay, so this is a way to resolve your dependency of Elasticsearch. Okay, so this is done. Now another thing what need to do, see that Elastic's client actually I inject in our service, right? So if you go to our services, so see this Elasticsearch actually I injected, so that's why I have to resolve this dependency first. So that dependency I resolve, but yeah, now see I have created another service which is dependent on this controller. Okay, so if you go to controller, so that is also dependent. Okay, so that also need to resolve. So it's another nice way, uh, another here, like very simple. For example, I use that simply builder the services add scope, but this time I'll use that different registration dependency, right? So uh, that is actually we required over here for the demos perspective. Okay, so I'll just create Elasticsearch. Okay, pass it to document, and also there is the implementation. Okay, so these two things is very important. Let me zoom in for you. Okay, so this is a configuration. Okay, so this is a very important, and that is done. Okay, so finally we covered everything, so let me rebuild. Okay, so that we can make sure everything is working fine. Okay, now it is succeed. Okay, and let me open a dashboard. Let me refresh. Okay, so this is a old index, but this index is not appearing over here because we just will create a new index, right? So okay, so if you, I'll show you again. Go to manage. Okay, and all resource, see here we don't have that ES demo index, right? So that will be created once we send some request of here, right? So let me close the old demo session, okay, and go to our implementation here. Okay, so our index name is would be this one. Let me show you, ES demo, okay, which is not present as of now in our indexes. Okay, so these are all the indexes, okay, which I have. Okay, so what I need to do, I'll just run our application. Okay, let me run. Okay, now see it is running in my locally also, and it is a Swagger which is provide the all the handling the request. Okay, there's a many way you can use the Postman and anything. Okay, but yeah, for the demonstration purpose it is very look, feel and very good actually. So what I need to do, just first create execute. Okay, see there is a no data, response is 200, there is a no data that is expected. Okay, what I need to do, I just expand this. Okay, now just create a some data. Okay, use that post method, try out and remove that ID. Okay, pass it to, for example, uh, Elasticsearch. Okay, Elasticsearch and ES description and Karthik. Okay, and then execute. Once you execute, you will get that response. See, you will get the 200 and also the responsive document created successfully. Okay, now move it to our here and let me refresh and check it like those indexes has been created or not. Okay, so move it to again manage the data view and go to all resource and ES demo. See, now it is available, which was not previously. Okay, so what I need to do, I'll just create a index so that I can visible in this Kibana as well. Kibana. So what I will do, just for same example means same name, I'll just create it for the visualization. Okay, and point out to this index. Okay, and then save it. Okay, once you confirm, you are able to see here. Okay, it is selected and now you're able to see the data. Okay, now see one data is inserted for that name is ES. Okay, let me show in the JSON format and little bit zoom in for you. See, name is ES, discussion this and author is this, right? So let me add one more data, then one I'll just put one more data you will able to see over here. Okay, so let me back to our here. Okay, change it to ES to, for example, Angular. Okay, and then Angular description and author is same. Okay, let me execute. See the response, it is fine. And if you go here, it will automatically refresh actually, but yeah, sometime it will not, but yeah, you can just refresh. See, once I refresh, I am able to see another data. Okay, same things I can check in here as well in this all the get all documents. Okay, execute. Now this time able to see two records, right? And now what I will do next, I will just update. So what I need to update, so suppose this one. Okay, this one 788. So if you go to 788, so it have Elasticsearch, right? So let's change it to Elasticsearch to for example web API. Okay, okay, and then change it to web API description and author is Karthik and just execute. Okay, and go back to dashboard. Let me refresh. See, now change. Okay, also similar you can check over here as well. Just execute. See, it is got changes, right? Also check the another endpoint, for example get by the ID, pass it to ID, get the data. Yes, I have received the data. Okay, so that is also fine, working fine, the get API. And finally I want to delete. Okay, so let me try to delete as well, so that we can make sure our delete also working fine or not. Okay, so this one, it's successfully. Now check here first with the endpoint. Okay, get all the endpoints. Now see, only one left data is left. Go back to dashboard. Now here the previously it's a 2. Okay, now refresh. Now it's keep only one, right? So that is working fine, absolutely. Okay, okay, so one endpoint, just I'll show you in the debugging mode so that you can understand as well. Okay, so go to the Elasticsearch controller. Okay, put the debugger point as well, and go to the services, because how is working, you have to know like what is the flow actually. Okay, so let me debugger point here as well. Okay, and let me hit enter, execute. Okay, once you execute, you will able to see the debugger point. Once you F10, it will go to your Elasticsearch services, and here it will call your client and call the search and pass the document. Okay, and then finally you will return the see object. Okay, and see, this is that object which is we trying to show you like is valid. Okay, okay, so I am not able to show you in a zoom mode, I think this one. Yeah, I'm not able to show you in the zoom mode. Okay, but yeah, I think it's fine for visibility. So this is a way, and also you will see the menu property, you can get it like, okay, it is successful or not, and what is the happening, everything you can capture. Okay, so let me show you. See, this is the document collection as well. You are able to see the data as well using the documents. Finally F10 finally get the data and show the data in your API. Okay, like this way. So that's all for this session. Okay, and keep tuning, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.